Hello guys and welcome to a behind the scenes video of my map surgeon simulator, which I released about 2 days ago, depending on when this video goes live. I just wanted to give you a quick look behind the scenes, how some of the mechanics work and just how it came to exist. So the first thing you might notice, one sec, is that this map actually hardly contains any command blocks because, well, functions are freaking awesome. The only command blocks that I have in here are these few. That's just because I copied them from another map. I was too lazy to convert them into functions as well. So I'm just gonna mainly show you like some of the code in Dreamweaver, which is what I use to write my functions. So the first thing when making this map was just the basic arm movement. I'm actually gonna go into a backup I made, and here we have just how it looked right in the beginning when nothing was really there. And here we just have the basic arm movement. I actually initially had a system where if you moved left and then you stopped holding the key, it just stopped immediately too. But that felt way too responsive, if that makes sense. Because Surgeon Simulator is supposed to be kind of weird to control. And so I made a new system which basically makes the arm continue moving if you stop pressing W, A, or S or D. So if I have 4 different scores here. One of them is move 3. If I move down, you can see that it increases and it then goes down again. And depending on what the score is, I move the arm with different speeds. So let's check out the code for this. It's right here. So for each of the directions I have one of these blocks here. And yeah, just take a look. If you understand something about Minecraft map making, this will be not too difficult. But yeah, that's how it's done. Then let's take a look at the item pickup system. So let's get back into the real map again and start again. So all of the one sec, set this body sidebar, selection. So all of the items actually have a tag called pickable, and if you start the game, all of the armor then just get summoned here, some scores are set, and all the items that can be picked up have the tag pickable. And if I detect that the player is right-clicking and the arm is next to an armor stand, I set the selected score for the armor stand with the pickable tag to 1, and if the tag is 1, I just teleport it to the arm, which all can be found right here. I then just, for removing the blanket, I just have this little segment here, which just checks if the blanket is outside of this area, and if it is, then score one sec. And if it is, then the progress score will be increased, which just indicates that the next stage is started and that I can now, for example, start smashing the bones. Alright, let's take a look on the code for the hammer smashing, which is here. So I basically have a score called Smash Swing, and if we take a look at the sidebar display, you can see that if you select the hammer, you can see that depending on where it is, the Smash Swing score is 0 or 1. And if it is 1 and 0 in a certain time frame, then I just know that it was a successful hammer swing, because a hammer swing is like triggered when the smash swing score is 0, but only if the smash swing score was 1 before. So if I just move it around here, it doesn't register. I have to move up and then move down again. So that's how that works. Then what else do we have? yeah, the bone test is just, it's pretty much the same thing as the blanket test, just a bit different and just testing for all of the bones. Then what else do we have? Alright, the saw, this is actually a different function. Let me get it. Saw. This is really basic too. I just test if I have the saw selected. Let me just cheat away the bones. Bone. Alright. Let me clear the sidebar display. So I just test if the saw is selected. And then I test if the hand is at a certain location, and if it is, then I just increase another score, which is called saw thing 1. I know, great objective names. That is just increased, and if it hits a certain number, I know that I was on the spot for a long enough time, and I know that I can now break the thing that I'm breaking. I don't know what it is. Don't disturb me while I'm recording, jeez. Yeah, that's that. Then let's go into general again. Right, the syringe, that's not very special. Really basic everything. Yeah, the laser is really easy too. I just instead of increasing the smash level of, like, every bone has a score called smash level, and if the score hits 3, the bone is considered broken. And instead of just increasing the smash level score by 1 each time I land a hammer hit, I just keep increasing it instantly if I'm using the laser. But of course I'm losing a lot of blood at the same time, which can be found here. Lung test, everything with test, that's just the same thing but with another organ. Right, the box is interesting too. I simply have a score called open animation, and if I set it to 1, the box animation is started. And then I have another animation called close animation, which just plays the animation in reverse. And if this, if the box is considered open, then I can just grab the heart. Okay, now I was too late. Now I can grab the heart, and you can see that the hitbox also changes. Wait, what happened here? Where did my heart go? Oh, I see. It just went into the bin. Right, the menu is really basic too. There's nothing really special. I just have a score called menu, and if I detect that the player moved up or down, I simply change the menu score, and depending on what the menu score is, I just change the damage value of the armor stand in front of you. Right, so another thing that might be interesting is how I made the blood level display. I mean, I could have went with the sidebar display, but that just felt kind of unprofessional. I wanted to have something clean and not some weird sidebar displays in the way of the beautiful map. So I went for this display instead. And each of the numbers is just one armor stand. And here we can actually see how freaking beautiful functions are, because you can have recursions. I actually have a different score called blood display, which first of all is set to the same thing as blood level. Because I don't want to mess with the blood level score, but I want to use the score to just display the score. So first of all, I'm changing what the armor stand is wearing on its head to a different damage value depending on what the score is. And as you can see, I'm testing for 1000 to 2000 and so on and so forth. And then I'm doing something interesting. I'm actually calling this function remove 100, which basically keeps removing. Wait, we can just take a look at it. Remove 100, which just removes 1000 from from the blood display score. And then if the score is still above 1000, it just removes another 1000 points. So what I'm trying to achieve with that is, for example, let's say we have a score of 6500, but I want to test in the hundreds range. So I'm removing 1000 from that score, which leaves me with 5500. Then I'm doing that again. Then I'm at 1500. Then I'm at 500. And now I can compare, where is it? Now I can compare for the second digit. And I'm comparing between 100, 199, and so on. And I'm doing the same thing with the tens and the ones. And that's how the display works. The last thing that might be interesting showing is how I made the hint system. Because if we press the question mark, we get a hint. We press again, nothing happens. We now remove the blanket and press the question mark again. We get another hint. So let's take a look at the function for this. So whenever I detect a right click while he has the last slot selected, I just call this function right here. And basically if like the progress score just indicates at which stage of the surgery I'm at. If it is 1, for example, I'm displaying the first hint. And then I'm increasing the hint 1 score here for each of the progress steps basically. And if it is above 1, which means that I already activated the first tip, it's not displaying anymore. Then we have the same thing for the progress score of 2. And here I'm testing for a hint 2 score of 0. Then here I'm testing for a hint 2 score of 1 and 2, and I could be doing that forever and ever. In this case I just made 3 tips for this stage. So that just allowed me to, I mean there might be a better way of doing this, but this was a really efficient and fast way of actually making this work. So yeah, and that's pretty much all I can think of that might be interesting. All in all, it's not even that complicated, it was just a lot of work, but the functions themselves aren't even that complex. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little behind the scenes. Hope you learned something. If you have any more questions about the mechanics or the map itself, leave a comment down below. I'll try to answer as much as I can. And thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.